Hi everybody, it's Kirsty from Social Mums Club. This is Leigh.
Hello.
So I invited Leigh to come and talk to us as part of the International Women's Day series because she's a mum from our community for one, but she just is really inspiring to me. She's been through some challenging times and she's pushed through them and worked through them and she's grown through them and she's come out the other side, and I love talking to you, and I just thought other people would enjoy hearing from you as well. So
thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for your time. So I guess, do you want to tell us, like, obviously you've been through, you've lived an experienced life and lots of things have happened. Has there been one pivotal turning point in your life that you want to talk about?
There's been a lot. And they all have their moments, but I think in the last 10 years is really when I came to my own, and knowing that health is a very big factor in leading a really positive lifestyle, and it helps overcome adversity. So just a general synopsis, I do have quite a coloured psychiatric and psychological background, which has come with its own set of circumstances, but having to navigate my way out of that and feel like I've succeeded in doing that has been really, really important to me. And it's something that I really love to share with people around me, because everybody has their problems. It's how we deal with those problems and keep our core strength and our hearts in check and our minds in check to determine whether we win or lose.
Yeah.
So I always come from a place of positivity, because I've lived in that negative life, and there's no good from negativity. So it's learning to understand what your body's saying as opposed to what your mind is saying, and counteracting all of that negative and shining a light on it and knowing what it means.
Yeah, that's nice. One of my favourite quotes is, if you look for the positives in life, you'll find them.
Yes.
And I feel like it's so easy for us to dwell on negatives. And then the more you dwell on the negatives, the more you see the negatives and so on. But if you just, and it's so hard sometimes, isn't it? Especially when you're going through something really hard. If you just get glimmers of positivity and you just keep looking for that and focusing on that, then your eyes sort of open to the rest of it.
Absolutely. The negative mindset is really, it's like being in a stuck head cycle. And until you kind of learn to go, hang on a second, I'm not going to succeed if I stay this way. We need to find that little bit of hope that there is a future. And I think from when I speak to people, they're in that really down in the dumps and, look, it's just not worth it. Yeah, it is. When you turn it around and shine the light in and go, this is not me, this doesn't make who I am. Yeah. And that was my turning point in my own recovery. I changed my environment completely. I moved out of the community for a short time, and I began working on me. I've got kids, I've got teenage kids, and I've given the life to being a devout mom and a businesswoman and all of those things. Yeah. The one thing I forgot was me. Yeah,
I'm guilty of that too. I'm a lot better now, but again, sometimes you have to learn it the hard way to learn, and then you have to unravel a little bit and build yourself back up.
I said this morning, every sort of lesson we have, it can take us many times to learn that lesson, until you kind of get up one day and go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And then you just know, you take note of how your body's responding. So when you feel that again, you go, hang on a second, we're at that limit.
Yeah.
We need to put X, Y, Z into place to avoid going back to where we were.
And I guess it's until you experience that, it's very easy just to push your needs down and put everyone else's needs ahead of you. But when you've been through something hard and you go, no, I have to prioritize myself. And it would be nice, like hopefully some people, even if one person was watching this and hadn't hit that rock bottom point and hadn't hit that burnout, if they could recognize it now, all the signs before it got to that point, it would be amazing just to go, I think I need to just stop and I need to look after me. Yeah. And it's not always the physical you either, is it? It's often the emotional, spiritual, like nurturing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when it came to when I had my significant burnout experience, we're going back, I was in an industry that was male dominated, that I really did have to earn my stripes as a female within that industry to be recognised.
Yeah.
And, you know, I volunteered my days on end and I spread myself out so thin.
Yeah.
As well as being a mom and all of those
just another
things.
layer of spreading thin.
And then one day I just couldn't get up anymore.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite quotes is, "You can't pour from an empty jar."
I love that one too. Yeah.
And I had not for a long time been putting any joy into that jug.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just joy. Like, you know, often we think of, you know, getting massages and that, like, and that's nice, but sometimes it's just things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And I found after I hit my burnout, I was like, tried to get back into that, and I actually couldn't even remember what brought me joy. I was like, for 12 years I had neglected my own joy.
And that's what's my next phase of getting to know me again, because I'm soon to approach my second divorce, which is not a positive environment to be in, but what I learned is I had lost my complete identity. And it was late last year when I said, you need to go and find yourself. And funny enough, Social Moms Club came up on my feed and went, that actually sounds like something that I could really resonate with. And that's when, you know, you guys became part of my life and a positive influence in my life. And from then, like, it's kind of remembering way back when, you know, oh wow, I remember that song, that made me so happy. And you play it again and you resonate with that feeling, and then you go, oh, hang on, that leads me to there, and then the path starts. And this is where I'm at today. Like, you know, it's not uncommon for me to do kitchen karaoke in front of my kids when they're on FaceTime trying to, you know, embarrass me in front of my friends. But it makes everybody laugh. Myself included. Like, I know I hold no shame now for who I am. And that's the story I come from. So, you know, approaching 50 and feeling as strong as I am and as confident as I am is well and truly leaps and bounds from where I was all that time ago.
It's so wonderful seeing well, I mean, I didn't see it from the start, but like just since I've known you,
nobody wanted to see it.
Since I've known you, watching your strength grow and seeing, and it hasn't even been that long, and just seeing you're so passionate, and I can see that fire in you again, and that's so awesome.
I mean, as you know, there's moments you just kind of get knocked down a little bit, but I have a mantra, like whenever I recognize I'm falling into that space, I put my shoulders back and my chin up and my eyes forward. Because I need to assume the position. I'm no longer in fight mode where I'm, you know, crouched down and in protective mode. I'm always ready for resilience. So no matter what comes in front of me, and there's plenty more to come, I'm prepared. And no one can take that away from me. And knowing you have that power is really, really remarkable to find. So it's not ego driven, it's just your own entitlement.
Wow. If only we could just give that to all the people watching. But you know, you have to learn it, you have to go through it, and but at least if you know that it's a thing that you can do, people can start thinking about it and start building it in themselves.
And I mean, I've spoken to a lot of women in the community, and because, you know, I've been in the district for nearly 20 odd years. I'm originally from Sydney, but you know, I come across women from time to time now who are just starting their journey, and I'm so grateful to be able to go, well, this is what you're going to face. And this is what worked for me. It might not work for you, but here's my phone number. I'm always open. And it's just created my own little community of supporters. But I support them also.
And that's what I love about Social Moms Club as well. And it sounds like you've found a community for yourself, but a lot of people don't have that.
That's right.
And we can straight away become those cheerleaders, those supporters, the person you can pick up and say, I need someone, or I need something. And because you just want to do it for others as well, because you know how it feels for you, and you just naturally want to do it for others.
And it's not anything to do with me and how I feel. I just want to. I thrive on people succeeding.
Yeah.
And that's not whether it's materialistic or it doesn't come from that space. It's knowing their self-worth and knowing their value, having the right morals, and just being a good person.
Yeah.
Within themselves and the community, because you know, we can always make our community better.
Oh, absolutely. And just taking the time to give to other people as well.
Yes.
We're all so busy.
Yes.
And we're so busy running that we forget. But you don't have to run quite so much if you've got people and you're all helping each other and supporting each other, you know?
I often say life is not a sprint. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep that stamina to be able to get to where you need to go, but you've also got to have vision of where you want to be.
That's true. Yeah.
And you know, I mean, there are 5-year plans. It's 10-year plan. I don't have a 10-year plan. I have a 1-year plan.
So much could change between now
and a 2-year plan. But I mean, the growth that I've had in 6 months is just come leaps and bounds. So this whole 5-year plan stuff, I kind of go, no, that's too long distance. Who knows where we're going to, thanks to COVID, who knows where we're going to be in 5 years' time.
And often when you start planning 5 years in advance, it's all very so numbers focused, or it might be like, I want to have this promotion, I want to have this much money, but it's not the day-to-day joy, you know? And that's the thing that you have to make time for and space for, I guess, but absolutely. You can't, it's not something you can plan ahead for. Like,
they have to be realistic.
Yeah.
And achievable. You're not going to feel successful if you never achieve. And so, you know, even the lacks of self-care, like on a Sunday I write 3 little things that I want to get done for myself for the week. And it could be any day. But at the end of the week, when I sit down, I go, I did all of that for me.
Simple. Just 3 things in the whole week. You just got to do it. Someone said something to me in the weekend that I loved. Part of the hard thing about self-care is getting in the habit of doing it, because we're so out of the habit of doing it. And apparently it's easier to create a new habit if you attach it to another habit. So it could be as simple as, I mean, most of us drink coffee. Every time you have coffee, you do some journaling, or do some deep breathing, or just something really, it doesn't even have to be big, you know, but just if you attach it to something you're already doing, you're more likely to keep doing it. And I thought that was really good advice.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what would you say your current purpose in life is? I know you're just so inspiring. There's so many different things going on in your head, but
staying true to myself. And staying in my lane. And not and recognizing that there are other lanes in the pool, but the whitewash just stays where it is, and I just focus and keep my boundary clear. Sort of recognize what's going on around me. I don't want tunnel vision. And I'm certainly not coming in shoulders and elbows barging, but being prepared that, you know, that there may be something that falls in my way, and being prepared for that, and kind of honouring that for what it is. There's a lesson in it. And at the time I might not know what that lesson is, but you sort of come out of it and go, oh, that's what I needed to know. And you just move on. But you keep your integrity intact. You keep your morals and your values intact, and you know that's awesome. Where I come from.
Very much the mentality of everything happens for you, not to you.
That's exactly right.
I love that. And it's, if you can think of things like that, it's very, very helpful. And so what keeps you going? So obviously when things get challenging, you know, you see things on these other lanes, what keeps you going?
My kids. The life I've created now for my kids, seeing them happy, the relationships I have with my kids is really important. I allow them to be their own people, as long as they're good people and they're making the good decisions. It's not my place to sort of go, no, you must do this or you must do that. It's, they need to kind of have a relationship with themselves too. And so
beautiful. Do you have a piece of advice for anyone going through something just hard or challenging, or have forgotten to prioritize themselves?
Keep going. Everything in life is temporary, including your problems. And seeing things and having a voice. knowing when to ask for help. That has been a very key figure in me being where I am today. I was always a closed book. Nobody ever knew what I was fighting until one day I kind of let it out, and people have just gone, oh my God. And it didn't feel bad. And in fact, it was actually quite scary when help started to be offered. And I kind of went, well, this is actually nice. And, you know, you resonate on the nice bit and go, well, okay, if I expose a little bit more, and all of a sudden you have this story, and you don't want the sympathy. You just want the understanding and clarity that, you know, this is who I am and this is what I'm facing, but it's not going to destroy who I am as a person.
Oh, awesome. What would you say inclusion means to you?
Inclusion is to be seen and heard. And it's really important when I sit down with someone who's not in their right headspace, that I acknowledge that I'm hearing them, I'm seeing them, and I understand, because that in itself, when you've got some challenges, you just feel like it's the whole world against you. So when somebody comes in and says, I see it, I understand it, and you know, I want to help, it just opens some doors for options and possibilities. And when you've got those things, you kind of feel a little bit more stronger. I might not have the answers, but I can help you determine the future.
I love that. Well, we kind of talked about this a bit, but how do you prioritize yourself? So I guess you've come a long way with that. It would be easy to slip back into old habits, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So how do you make sure that you don't?
I've really had to work on the inner core work for that, and knowing the cues and picking up on the triggers. I can be quite triggered at times. There are things like, even my daughter's like, Mum, because it's weird. Crying children is a really big trigger for me, because you know, when you've got that infant and you can't console them, and you've tried every book possible, it's that crying, like that uncontrollable crying, and you just go, oh, I want to be able to help. To the point where I just have to stop now and recognize that and go, this is okay. It's not against you, it's with you, and you'll find a way. You know, being a mum can bring so much to your plate, and when you're spread so thin anyway, you know, you just feel like you're out of options sometimes. And when, you know, your partner comes home and goes, please just take them, I'm going to Bunnings to look at nuts and bolts right now, just to get away. You know, you've kind of just got to go. It is what it is.
Favorite quote?
Well, I've given you two. Everything's temporary. Can't pour from an empty jug. I say that a lot.
And my favourite question, what does being a woman mean to you?
I love this question.
It's interesting because it means different things to different people. I love hearing more about it.
I really invoked my femininity, and that's being a woman is my identity. I am such a girly girl, but I'm also strong and independent. So yeah, being a woman is who I am, and I'm loud and proud, but not obnoxious about it. And you know, I give both, you know, spectrums, men their time to be masculine, and there's times that I am masculine. I need to show those masculine traits, but I absolutely love everything about being a woman. And that's who I am, and that's what I enjoy the most. Like, you'll see me with all my jewelry and, you know, all of the things, because I love it. It's a girly thing. And it brings you joy.
And it doesn't bring everyone joy, but it brings you joy, and
that's
you can
it.
wear it if you want.
That's right. But, you know, there's times where I'm in jeans and, you know, looking a little bit how you doing? But that's who I identify as at the end of the day. So it doesn't make me any less of a woman.
Yeah.
So
Oh, thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
I'm sure that everyone watching will be very inspired. And I know. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, oh, so wise. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye.